Good morning, everyone. In the previous lecture, we studied about the analysis of the cables subjected to UDL. We found out that how do we calculate the values of the minimum and the maximum tension in the suspension cable, as well as the values of the vertical reaction and the horizontal reaction at the supports. In this lecture, we will be going to study that how do we calculate the forces in the anchor cables and the towers. We know that the part of the cable which is in between the two towers is known as the suspension cable, which is suspended in between the two towers. And the part of the cable which is in between the tower and the fixed support is known as the anchor cable. In this lecture, we will be going to find out that how do we calculate the forces in this anchor cable and the forces which are transmitted to the tower by the cable. So, in the first lecture, we studied about two types of support systems. One was the guided pulley support system and one was the roller support system. So first we will study about guided pulley system, that how do we calculate the forces in the guided pulley system. See, in the guided pulley system, the cable is passed over a guided pulley which is fixed at the top of the tower. See, if see, observe this. This whole cable is transferred over this tower, passing through this guided pulley. So, whatever is the amount of tension which is produced in the suspension cable, the same amount of tension is also produced in the anchor cable, because the cable is going as a whole over the guided pulley system. So if suppose capital T is the tension which is produced in the suspension cable, the same amount of tension which is capital T will be produced in the anchor cable. Suppose this suspension cable is making an angle of beta with the horizontal, and this anchor cable is making an angle of alpha with the horizontal. Now we know that the value of the tension is equal to under root of VA square plus H square. In the previous lectures, we found out this, that tension in the cable is equal to under root of VA square or VB square plus H square, and tan beta is equal to VA upon H. If you don't remember, let me just go through the analysis of the cable subjected to point loads. In that, we found out the value of tan beta or tan theta. If you remember, in those questions, this angle was theta in place of beta. So tan theta was VA upon H. Let me just go through that page. So if you remember this numerical, in this numerical, this angle was theta 1, and when we plotted the polar diagram, and this was the polar diagram which was obtained, and this angle, we know that this angle in the polar diagram depicts theta 1. So if you apply tan theta 1 in this diagram, you will get, see, tan theta is perpendicular upon upon base. So perpendicular is VA and base is capital H. So tan theta 1 we used to get equal to VA upon capital H. In the same way, the problem which we are doing right now, in this example also, in place of theta 1 the angle is beta, so tan beta will be equal to VA upon capital H. So we can find out the value of the tension in the anchor cable by this formula, capital T equal to under root VA square plus H square, whereas the angle beta can be found out with this equation, tan beta equal to VA upon capital H. Now see, if you see this cable, the tension in this cable is capital T, and it is inclined at an angle of at an angle of beta. So this tension will have two components, one in the horizontal direction and one in the vertical direction. The component of tension along with the beta will be T cos beta. So this component will be T cos beta, and the component of tension and the vertical component will be T sine beta. So this component will be T sine beta. If you see this tension, so this tension is making an angle of alpha with the horizontal. So this tension will also have two components, one in the horizontal direction and one in the vertical direction. So the horizontal component, that is the component along with alpha, will be t cos alpha. So this component will be t cos alpha, and this component will be t sin alpha. Okay, see, now we have to find out the total vertical load transmitted to the pier or the tower. See, the tower is also known as a pier. So now we have to find out the total vertical load which is transmitted to the tower. If you see, this is the tower. So there are two vertical loads which is transmitted to the tower, and that is T sine alpha and T sine beta, and both of these forces are in the same direction. Therefore, they will just add up. So the total vertical load transmitted to the tower will be equal to T sine alpha plus T sine beta. If I take T as common, I will get sine alpha plus sine beta in bracket. Now the net horizontal force transferred to the tower will be, see, if you see this diagram, there are two horizontal forces which are transmitted to the tower. One is in the right direction and one is in the left direction. So I'm going to take the rightward force as positive and the leftward force as negative. So the total horizontal force transferred to the tower will be the addition of all the forces with sign. So right force positive, left force and left force negative. So T cos beta minus T cos alpha. So this is the total force, T cos beta minus T cos alpha. If I take capital T common, I will get in bracket cos beta minus cos alpha. Now, if I want to find out the maximum bending moment in the tower, see, we know that as the perpendicular distance increases, the bending moment also increases. So, see, if you see this vertical force, the line of action is coinciding with the base. So there will be no moment generated due to this vertical forces, due to these vertical forces. So the bending moment will be generated in the tower due to these horizontal forces only. And see, if I take a section at this point, so the distance of these forces, these horizontal forces, is less. If you again take a section, suppose here, so the distance now gets increased, and when the distance got increased, the bending moment will also get increased. The maximum height of these forces from this tower is the distance from its base. So if I multiply the horizontal force with the perpendicular distance from its base, I will get the maximum bending moment. So therefore, maximum bending moment in the tower will be produced at the bottom of the tower, because the perpendicular distance is maximum at the bottom. So the total horizontal force on the tower into the height of the tower, I will get maximum bending moment for the tower. So the total horizontal force is T cos beta minus cos alpha, and suppose the height of the tower is a small h1, so multiplied by small h1 will give you maximum bending moment which will be produced in the tower. And now let's come to the second support system, which is the roller support system. See, in this type of support system, there is a roller support at the top of the tower, and the cable is clamped to the saddle carried on smooth rollers on the top of the pier. See, there is a saddle. So this is a saddle, and this saddle has rollers at the bottom, and the cable is clamped at the top of the saddle. So the cable does not go as a whole from one end to the other end. Instead, the cable, see, since the cable is clamped at the top of the saddle, so therefore these two parts, that is the anchor cable and the suspension cable, they act as different cables because it is clamped at the top. See, if suppose the cable is not clamped at the top and it is simply supported over the saddle, then whatever be the amount of tension which was produced in the suspension cable, the same amount of tension would have produced in the anchor cable. But since it is clamped at this saddle, therefore a different amount of tensions will be produced in the cables, in the anchor cable as and the suspension cable. So now we will find out that in the roller support system, how much amount of tension is produced in the suspension cable and in the anchor cable, as well as how much vertical force and the horizontal force is transmitted to the tower. So let's just go through again. So in the roller support system, the cable is clamped on a saddle, and this saddle is has rollers at the base and the cable is clamped at the top of the saddle. Since it is clamped at the top of the saddle, therefore, these two parts of the cable, that is the suspension cable and the anchor cable, they act as different parts. Now we will calculate the values. The amount of tension in the suspension cable can be calculated by this simple formula capital T equal to under root of VA square plus H square, which we are already using. Here tan beta same can be calculated by VA upon capital H. See, now we have to find out the value of capital T1. This capital T1 can be resolved into two components, one horizontal component and one vertical component. So the component along with alpha will be T1 cos alpha, and the vertical component will be T1 sin alpha. This T can also be divided into two components, one horizontal component and one vertical component. The component of T along with beta will be T cos beta and the other component will be T sin beta. See, if you apply summation of all the horizontal forces is equal to 0, so total rightward force will be equal to total leftward force, or total leftward will be equal to total rightward force. If you see in this diagram, so total leftward force is T1 cos alpha, so this will be equal to total rightward force, which is T cos beta. So T1 cos alpha will be equal to T cos beta. We already know the value of T and beta. We already know the value of alpha, which will be given in the question. So from this equation, we will find out the value of T1, that is the tension in the anchor cable. Now, if we want to find out the vertical force which is transmitted to the tower, see, if you see this diagram, you will be clearly able to see that two vertical forces are acting on the tower. One is T1 sin alpha and T sin beta, and both of these forces are acting in the downward direction, so therefore positive. So T1 sin alpha plus T sin beta. See, now the cable is supported on the saddle, which is having rollers at the base. So therefore, due to these rollers, no horizontal force is produced in the tower. See, because whatever is the horizontal force uh, that is produced due to T1 cos alpha and T cos beta, and these forces moves the saddle, because this saddle has rollers at the base. So whenever anything moves and it is not restrained, no horizontal stress will be produced. Since no horizontal force will be produced, therefore the bending moment at the bottom or anywhere on the tower will be zero. So providing this type of support system has an advantage, that no bending moment is produced in the tower, because the cables are supported on the saddle, which is having rollers at the base, and whenever any horizontal force is applied on the saddle, this saddle just moves, and when it moves, no horizontal force is produced, because horizontal force will be produced only when there is a restrainment to the horizontal motion. Since there is no restrainment, that is the saddle is not restrained in its position, therefore no horizontal stress will be produced. Since there is no horizontal force, therefore no bending moment will be produced in the cables.